Lamont, he's got to go by himself, but he'll certainly not be scared to give it a go. Lays it back now. In came Alistair Hogg. I thought for a moment he was going to be penalised for a knock-on. It was definitely his feet, but in fact Nigel Owen has penalised Romania.
Well, what a great break by Rory Lamont. The first time we've really seen him in an attacking opportunity, and Scotland have kicked for the corner. They've scored once from this position. This is the break here. Good inside ball from Parks, and he breaks free of the first tackle and he's away. He's looking for support, doesn't get any. Good covering tackle for Brezoianu, and he's then penalised for lying on the ball. I thought it was a bit harsh.
Yeah, I thought so too. In fact, I think they saw it wrong, because I think they thought that was a Romanian hand that flipped it back, and it was actually Hogg coming in who kicked it forward. Great awareness by Lamont. Suddenly found himself up against Todorask, the prop, and said, I can beat this man.
Well, unfortunately Scotland lost the line out, so they're going to have to come again from a bit deeper now.
Got the ball this time, set up in the middle by Webster, and again they've just been a bit inaccurate, a bit loose, and they've knocked it on.
And and I hope this is taken constructively, if you look ahead to their last two games, New Zealand on Sunday, and then they play Italy, what will be the decider who comes second in this group. If you give turnover ball away against better sides, watch out, especially this side that comes here on Sunday, New Zealand.
Yeah, you can't afford to get profligate just because you're getting lots and lots of ball. I agree entirely. They should be using this to actually strengthen their discipline on the contact.
Advantage blue.
Little knock-on from Scotland, but Romania still have the ball. They're playing advantage.
Advantage over.
Advantage over. Back it goes to Rory Lamont. Chip and go from him. He's so quick. And a great tackle on the scrum half Sirbu. Well done, Rory Lamont. Oh, and that was very inaccurate from Nathan Hines. Slung a very loose pass there, and no chance of taking that. Away comes little Tinku.
Advantage off-white. Off-white in the pass.
Nathan Hines is putting his hand up. He knows he made an absolute pig's ear of that situation. Great kick by Roy Lamont, and chased it well. It's all right kicking well, you've got to chase well, and he obviously enjoys chasing. And his little Serbo, I think it was, the scrum half, yes, who got back there. Good tackle, good pressure, good support from Scotland. Grabs the ball and then gives the worst pass you'll see in a long, long time when it gets recycled.
That's the second time.
And Frank Haddon, being the man that he is and the coach that he is, will not be happy with this. He wants some control and put it through the phases and really work it. But at the moment, in some ways, Scotland are copying Romania.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think he will feel that they ought to be 4 or 5 tries up at this stage. They've had the possession, they've created the sort of space, and then they've made a mess of it. Now, obviously, it's going to be a little bit slippery out there because of the conditions, something that they probably haven't come to terms with after wonderful weather in the autumn, but they've got to adapt to that too, and it is their home territory. They know all about conditions like this. Oh, lucky man. Sean Lamont somehow picking that one off, but it wasn't very convincing again.
Hands out.
Sirbu to Demofte and into touch.
That's good, man. It's all we want.
Well, this is Sean Lamont taking on the half volley. He had 1 foot in touch to start with. I think he was all right, but he only had 1 foot in touch.
It was touch and go. I'm not so sure it was out of touch by the time he first gathered it in. Better one off the top that time from Hines. And almost the hole through the middle.
Release, white. Advantage.
They're playing advantage Romania's way. It's going to be a penalty. Holding on the floor. It was Simon Taylor the culprit.
The last 10 minutes, the only people that are happy with the last 10 minutes are probably the people that do the stats, because they've been the busiest in the stadium, I would suggest, with the turnovers and penalties given away. And Frank Haddon will probably get a note and put it to the wall at half-time. And look what Romania have done, kicked it dead.
Well, that is a dreadful mistake. I mean, that's 50 metres given away, going just for too much. Dumitrash knows that he's made a bad mistake there. Just because he's got a big boot, there's no point in putting it dead over the dead ball line. And if he'd have just settled for 40 metres instead of going right to the corner, they'd have had a great attacking position.
Engage.
Front row goes down, nobody's fault this time, says the referee.
It's gone down 3 or 4 times now there. Nigel Owen's patience might get a bit tested in this area of the game. It's a good opportunity for Scotland too. Interesting what Dan Parks is planning here at fly half for Scotland, whether they're going to try and get it through the hands and get Roy Lamont back into the back line.
Right, this time he puts it wide. Both the Lamonts into the line. That's Rory the fullback setting it up. Across comes Rob Dewey to secure the ball. Parks puts it high this time, high and wide to the midfield. Well, really well taken by Ferku, but the Scots made no great effort to get under that, considering it was almost a set move. Now Webster, well, he's going sideways a bit. They need to straighten this up. Good tackling by the Romanians. They've got up in a line and put pressure on the Scots. Scotland, though, still have it. Oh, and half a charge down. Oh, and a terrific tackle on the big man. That was Petra who was knocked backwards. Tinku setting out, he's lost it forward. Oh, well, that's a complete offside. You can't do that, Mr. Manta. Only sending.
Again, please. Off you go.
Well, this is Tinku carrying it forward. Jason White, one could argue, goes straight to floor, but gets the ball off him, having just made that magnificent tackle as well. And Manta declines to give the ball to Sean Lamont. Cost him an extra 10 metres, and it could cost them a try yet too, because they missed the last line out, but the one before they certainly scored from.
And I think we know what we're about to see. This time they go to the middle, in goes the drive. Well, a good counter ruck from the Romanians, and the equivalent of a turnover, because they get the put into the scrum, and Nigel Owen gives the put in to Romania.
Well, I don't know if that was complacency or what from the Scottish forwards, but scrum halves and fly halves should be given a right bollocking for wasting that sort of ball, to be honest with you.
Pause, engage.
Well, the scrum goes down,
Time out.
and Nigel Owen signals time off because he wants to have a word. He's getting fed up, as you say, Jamie. Just wants to settle him down, and doesn't want to spend the whole of the game with scrums going down. So he's calling both front rows over. He wants to discuss it with them.
Well, interesting how hard they listen, because they've got to go back to a scrum after this, and only 10 metres from the Romanian line.
I have tried to work with you during the game. Now you are not listening. I've asked you, now I am telling you. Next infringement may be dealt with differently than just a penalty. Is that understood? Back you go.
Well, that was pretty clear. I told you in the dressing room. I've asked you to take notice of what we said there. I'm now telling you, and just
touch,
making the point that the next one might not just be a penalty, there might be cards. Lost forward there by Tonitsa, and it'll be a scrum, and Scotland have actually got the attacking initiative back again.
Yeah, good pressure, good scrum from Scotland. I'm not quite sure why Tanita picked it up so quickly, but they've got to do something about that. Now, can the Romanians do something in return? I would hope that Scotland try and put this through the hands, but it might be a back row move to set it up first.
Stay there. Out.
Well picked up by Taylor eventually, but it was badly done. And
play the ball. It's a turnover ball.
Again, Scotland making a complete mess of it. Just as Taylor went to pick that up, the surge came on from the Romanians, and the Scottish scrum was suddenly a shambles.
When you get a top-level rugby, and they've got 2 top games coming up, and they haven't won this one quite yet, New Zealand and Italy. If you get a line out with your throw 10 metres from the opposition line, you then get a scrum 10 minutes from the opposition line, and you lose both, there's something badly wrong, isn't there?
Yeah, they've got to get these drills right, because this is training field stuff. This is stuff that you can work on as unit drills and unit skills.
I just think they've dropped the tempo. They're just not playing with the same intensity and urgency as they started out the game.
Hands away now!
Dimofta goes in bravely, and again, White's going off their feet, says the referee. Scotland penalised, penalty Romania, and this time they will escape. I don't think Alistair Hogg thinks that that's a good decision from the referee, but it looked pretty straight to me. And now Romania have a line out 10-15 metres outside the Scottish 22. It's all very, very scrappy, Jamie.
Yes, it's very fractured, isn't it? And there's no continuity. Nobody's gone through 3 or 4 phases in the last 10 minutes or so. The crowd aren't exactly enamoured by it either.
Ball stolen there. Well stolen, but they've lost it back again. I mean, turnover on the first point of contact. This is terrible. Cleared out by the Romanians. Coming back is Gontignac.
50-50.
Oh, and they've lost it as well. The little chip threw in behind the winger. But this time to get that back, this is Dumitrash. That's okay, says the referee. I don't think we'll even want to see that one repeated in slow motion. It might not have been quite as clean as he thought, but he's got away with it. Oh, and a lovely run. He did very well to take it. That's Simon Webster. Laid back, picked up beautifully by Blair. Laid back inside nicely to Hamilton. There, Lamont going into the scrum half position. Parks, that's Rory Lamont. Oh, and it's just got deflected. That wasn't a hand that pushed it back, it was just poor delivery of the ball on the floor from Scotland. So Romania again have a turnover. Dumitrash, and he's hit that one really well. Beautiful touch right up to within 10 metres of the Scottish 22.
Well, you can see there Lamont got very isolated. There was 3-4 Romanians there before any Scottish help arrived, and especially after that wonderful Simon Webster break through the middle, was only stopped by a wonderful tackle by the Romanian fullback Dimitraj. But again, the continuity is lacking, and a couple of turnovers even in that passage of play.
I shall be very interested to see the turnover statistics. 14-0, 35 minutes gone. Big drive from Scotland from this one. My goodness, they must surely just be able to burst away. Well, if he could have got one pass away there just before he went down, that would have been... Oh, and Lamont gets away. Pass out of the tackle. Oh, and they just couldn't quite hold on. Knock on though first from Romania. It would be scrum to Scotland. Alistair Hogg couldn't hold on to it, but that was much more explosive from Scotland.
It certainly was, and this time it was Sean Lamont who made the initial break and managed to find the support players. But it's 3 times now they've broken through the line and really not got anywhere near the try line to finish it off. And they've got to be a bit more clinical in their finishing.
But they've got the scrum. They're only 15 or so metres out from the line. Now they've got to make sure this time that they